All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. You ready to learn some stuff today?
Absolutely. Always ready to dive in.
Yeah, today we're looking at something. I bet a lot of you think you know a lot about St. Patrick's Day,
Yeah.
but I bet we'll unearth some interesting tidbits because we're going deep with the Wikipedia page for St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
It's actually a pretty in-depth resource,
Mm.
a lot more than I expected. So, ready to uncover some hidden shamrocks of knowledge.
Let's do it.
All right, so first off, I gotta say, I always thought of St. Patrick's Day as, mostly like an Irish American thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I was looking at this Wikipedia page, and did you know that St. Patrick's Day is celebrated in more countries than any other national festival?
Yeah, that's right. It's huge.
I mean, think about it. The Irish diaspora has spread really far and wide over the centuries.
Diaspora, so like when a group of people moves away from their original homeland.
Yeah, exactly. So millions of Irish people emigrated all over the world, especially to North America, and they brought their traditions with them. So, like, they really shaped how the world celebrates St. Patrick's Day today.
Absolutely. It became a way for them to connect with their heritage in these new places.
Yeah.
And to share it with their new communities.
Huh. So it's kind of gone beyond just like an Irish thing. It's like a global Irish thing.
Exactly. And it's interesting how it started as a religious observance, but it evolved into this phenomenon, this worldwide celebration.
Yeah. And speaking of celebrations, I found a couple of fun facts in here. I don't know if you know these, but
Hit me.
the Sydney Opera House, it's lit up green for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah, that's part of that global greening initiative, isn't it, by Tourism Ireland?
It is, yeah. Landmarks all over the world go green for the holiday.
It's pretty cool when you think about it, a real show of global Irish pride.
It is impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do wonder if sometimes it becomes more about the spectacle than like a genuine appreciation of the culture. But hey, I love a good light show. But, well, on a completely different note, did you know the shortest St. Patrick's Day parade ever was in Dripsey, Ireland?
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Only 23.4 meters long, just between two pubs.
Wow, that's amazing. I wonder if they just like walk back and forth.
Maybe it's a very quick parade.
Very efficient.
So those are some fun facts, but we got to get back to the heart of the matter. St. Patrick's Day, it's a religious holiday, right?
Yeah, it commemorates the arrival of Christianity in Ireland.
Right. So it's about St. Patrick, but what are we actually commemorating?
Well, we're marking the arrival of Christianity in Ireland and honoring St. Patrick, the patron saint, who was really key in that whole process.
Okay.
And it's been an official Christian feast day since the early 17th century, observed by, Catholics, Anglicans, Orthodox, even Lutheran churches.
Wow. I didn't know it crossed so many denominations.
Yeah, it's pretty widespread.
Okay, so that explains the religious aspect. But what about all the, secular stuff like the shamrocks, all wearing green? Is there more to that than just festive tradition?
Oh, definitely. It's layered with meaning. You see the shamrock, it's traditionally used to represent the Holy Trinity. The legend goes that St. Patrick himself used it to explain this concept to the Irish people.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And then the color green, it's been associated with Ireland for centuries.
Like way before St. Patrick.
Right. There's the story of Goidel Glass. He's this legendary figure who had a green mark from a snake bite.
A snake bite that's specific.
Yeah, and his descendants were believed to have settled in Ireland. And then you've got the green heart flag of the Irish Catholic Confederation in the 1640s, and the green that was used by the United Irishmen in the 1790s. So it's got this long history.
So green, it's like woven into Irish history and mythology. It's not just about, looking festive for the holiday.
Exactly. It's got deep roots.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And here's something that I thought was kind of surprising. St. Patrick's Day wasn't always a huge deal in Ireland itself.
Oh, really?
Especially during times of conflict.
Huh.
It says here that for a while, the holiday was actually bigger among the diaspora than it was in Ireland itself.
Well, that's fascinating.
And get this, the parades, they actually started in North America.
No way.
Yeah, in the 18th century.
Right.
So it wasn't until the late 20th century that the Irish government started to really promote St. Patrick's Day and Irish culture to the world.
Actively promote it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. So it was like a way to kind of create this modern positive image of Ireland for the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But that shift, it came with its own controversies.
Ooh, controversies. Now we're getting into it.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to have to pause it there, but when we come back, we'll be diving into those controversies. Stay tuned.
Right. It was kind of a strategic move, but like with anything, it's not all sunshine and roses.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not all shamrocks and rainbows, is it?
Right. Exactly. There's been some pushback, some criticisms about how St. Patrick's Day has evolved.
Like what?
Well, one of the biggest concerns is, the public intoxication and disorderly conduct that often comes with the celebrations.
Oh,
I mean, it's a holiday that's really associated with drinking and partying. And sometimes that, spills over into behavior that gives the holiday a bit of a bad reputation.
yeah. It's kind of a bummer when it goes too far.
Yeah. And then there's the whole issue of commercialization.
Oh, yeah.
Like some people feel it's become way too commercialized, straying really far from its original religious and cultural significance.
I can see that it's easy to get swept up in the whole, party atmosphere and forget what it's actually about.
Exactly. And then, of course, there are the leprechaun outfits.
Ugh, do get me started on those.
I know, right? It brings up this whole other critique about the perpetuation of negative Irish stereotypes.
Yeah, it's kind of like reducing a whole culture down to this one, like, cartoonish figure.
Exactly. And while some people might see those costumes as, harmless fun, they can actually reinforce harmful prejudices.
Right. It's like we're celebrating a culture, but at the same time, we're kind of making fun of it.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance, and I think it's important to remember that cultures are complex and multifaceted. We shouldn't reduce them to these simplistic or stereotypical representations.
Okay, so as we're heading into St. Patrick's Day, I mean, what do we do with all of this? Because on the one hand, we have this global celebration of Irish heritage and culture, but on the other hand, we have to be aware of these potential pitfalls, like the stereotypes, the over-commercialization, just like losing sight of what it all means.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to think about, and navigating it thoughtfully is key.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the point of a deep dive like this, to get us thinking critically about something that we might usually take for granted.
Yeah.
You might already know about the parades and the green beer, but have you ever stopped to think about how St. Patrick's Day became this global phenomenon?
Right.
And what that says about how cultures evolve and are reinterpreted over time?
That's a great point. It's easy to just get caught up in the festivities without thinking about the historical context,
Yeah.
or the complexities of cultural representation.
Exactly. And I think by taking a closer look, we can engage with St. Patrick's Day in a more informed and nuanced way. We can appreciate the joy and the connection to heritage while also being aware of the need for respect and sensitivity. It's all about finding that balance.
I like that, celebrating and honoring, but without simplifying or stereotyping.
Right.
And remembering that every culture is multifaceted and it's evolving.
Yes.
I mean, the way St. Patrick's Day is celebrated today, even in Ireland, is different from how it was celebrated a century ago.
Absolutely. Cultures are living things, they change, they adapt over time.
So what stands out to you as you're reflecting on all of this information? I think for me, what really sticks out is how much the Irish diaspora shaped this holiday. It's not just about what's happening in Ireland anymore. It's really about how Irish communities all over the world have kept these traditions alive and transformed them in their own ways.
Yeah, that's a really important point, and it makes you wonder if St. Patrick's Day is more about diaspora celebrations than events in Ireland itself. What does that tell us about how cultures evolve and are reinterpreted over time?
Yeah.
Cultures are fluid. They're dynamic as they spread and interact with other cultures. They absorb new influences and take on new meanings.
So they're kind of like constantly changing.
Exactly. And in a way, the Irish diaspora kind of took ownership of St. Patrick's Day. They added their own interpretations and traditions to the mix. It's a reminder that culture is a process. It's not this fixed entity.
Right. It's always evolving.
Exactly.
It makes you think about how cultural exchange can lead to something really unique and global.
Yeah.
And I guess as we celebrate St. Patrick's Day, whether we have Irish heritage or not, we're kind of participating in this ongoing evolution of a culture that has touched the world.
Absolutely. And I think as we've seen in this deep dive, there's just so much more to this holiday than meets the eye. It's a celebration of heritage. It's a religious observance, a cultural phenomenon, and it really highlights the complexities of cultural representation.
Well said. So to all our listeners out there, happy St. Patrick's Day. Remember, there's more to this holiday than green beer and leprechauns.
Hear, hear.
Maybe use this as a chance to learn a bit more about Irish culture and its impact on the world, and think twice before you pinch someone for not wearing green. Until next time, deep divers.